Day 2 of IBC 2022. We run this event as a fully hybrid event, and for that reason I want to welcome all our guests on our events platform x-dream.events. All our guests from worldwide joining us here on IBC from Amsterdam. This is the demo day, and I like to welcome all the people that are here with us on the booth and all the ones that are with us connected remotely. This very first demo is done by me. My name is Stefan Pfütze, Managing Director of Xstream Group, and I will show you one of our developments. This session is about OneGUI. So the first question to answer is, what is OneGUI? The idea is we have a user interface that is a central cockpit for the operators that are running environments for transcoding, quality control, file ingest, workflows, file transport, and many, many more. So everyone who has the need for a cockpit about file-based operations. And that is the idea of OneGUI. And let me jump right away into the application. We will log on, and based on my log on, I will get access to various systems. So the idea is we are monitoring the file-based processing queues from tools, as said, like transcoders. And here in that system, we have connected some of them. It shows us on the very left-hand side the list of all the jobs that are running in my facility. My colleagues just have queued some more so that we can see some running jobs. So on the left-hand side, we see the jobs by their file name. We see the progress. For some of the systems, we can even see in a visual way the progress of the, in this case, transcoding, because it's done by Capella FTC, our file-based transcoding tool. Now, for instance, I could do a filtering and I can say, please give me all the jobs that are now done by this FTC transcoding system. And that is one type of a filter. I could say, okay, please give me all the ones that are currently active, so they are running, and now filter down to 3. You might get the question by one of your internal customers, tell me, I look for something that is about tiers. I need to move out here a little bit so that I can see it easier. And that will allow me to filter to that single clip. So for a transcoding operator or a transcoding user, this is an ideal way to find the job that he's currently interested in, to find out what's going on, how far are we with that one. Now, a different type of filtering, let me delete these filters, is I'm checking by date. So let me remove the other filters. Let's say I'm interested in everything that is from today. Today is the 10th. And let's see what is done from the 10th to the 10th. And that should limit the list quite a bit. Sorry, my fault. I have not yet completed it. Let me remove that filter. So created today and finished today is nothing. That's bad. So created yesterday and finished today are these clips. This is the ones that we started today here on the booth in the morning. Now, I might be interested in the details of that job. By clicking on one of them, I get the task list here on the right-hand side. In this particular case, this job consists from just one task, and that is the transcoding. Now, by clicking on the transcoding, you see this bar to come up, and now I get the details about my transcoding job. In that case, it is a source file that is being transcoded to an output file. There's not much more information that we have beside a UID and so on. When there is an error happening, an error bar will come up and shows you all the details about the error. So this tool is not only good for managing the transcoding, it also helps for troubleshooting problems in your transcoding, quality control, ingest environment. There's a next job now just to come in. Same thing. Let us remove that filter. Sorry, here and here. As you can see here on the very right-hand side, we can also show information from many other systems. In this particular case, it's from Woody into it as an ingest tool. It has seen a source, has been processing it, has delivered it to the PAM, and then the job has finished by some notifications. Again, I can click on one of these tasks and I get the task details. Another type of a system that we have in here is Pulsar. That's all about quality control, was a single step processing. Again, there's a description, a source pass, and a report pass. Now the report is the one that we are interested in because it tells us at the end of the day whether the file was good or bad. Now, I spoke about the systems, and often there's a question, is the system just one computer? In what condition is it? And for that reason, we have a so-called machines view. We'll take a second. And here we are running a number of transcoders. And in addition, we can get the status of each and every of these machines and the services that are running on this transcoder. And again, if there's something running, we can see what that machine is currently doing. So probably, that's in a bad condition, this one. If there are tasks running on that computer, we can see what it is performing that very moment. We can see also the properties of that machine about free memory, the usage of CPU, and so on. So it's a tool to monitor the condition of your transcoding farm. Now, what about you are in a multi-business environment? Then you probably have people that are in sports and you have others that are in news. You have some that should have access to the one system, the other one to the others. Some should see jobs from the one kind of watch folder and the others from the other watch folder. And for that reason, we have back-end filtering. I'm now logged in as the administrator. And as far as I remember, there's no filter set. But let's have a look what kind of filters we have available. So as said, I'm currently the admin user. And as that, I have an email address. I'm member of a certain amount of groups. In this particular case, the administrator is part of the administrators group. Now we have another user that is called Demo. He only has access to Demo. And Michael is also just a regular user. Now, what does that mean? Here in the groups, we define what is available to the various type of users to see. And for instance, the administrator, let's start with this one, he gets all the details. Practically speaking, what we did over the time, we put every field that you can see in the front end into a user group context. Means we can enable or disable the summary information about the running jobs, the failed jobs, and so on. So you can hide that. Or we can hide the complete right-hand side bars so that a certain type of user cannot see the task properties or the list of tasks, or that all the errors are hidden. Why is that? That is simply because we have customers that use this application in a B2B model for, let's say, a cloud-hosted transcoding farm, where they want to not tell all the information about the complete condition of the jobs to all the external customers. And on the other hand, if you have multiple customers on one platform, so you run a multi-tenant environment, you have to separate them. And that depends a little bit on the capabilities of the transcoder. So back to the backend, because of that reason, we've invented backend filtering. At the end of the day, we can filter by various elements. Most often the job name is used. System is another possibility. But with the job name, we use regular expressions to grab a certain part of the file name that is clearly identifying the customer. So let's say there's a customer A, where the watch folder is called customer A _ sports, and then we filter on customer A, and only all the customer A jobs are shown to this customer. And obviously you can guess it already, for customer B we do the exact same, and that we have separated them. This is for non-multi-tenant systems to become multi-tenant that way. On the other hand, there are systems that makes it easier for us. For instance, the Capella transcoder that works with tokens per user or per customer at the end of the day. And we simply use this method to filter by the token, and that way we have a way better and more secure way to separate two different customers running jobs on the exact same environment. So here, as said, a simple filter could be, let's say we saw a watch, something like this. Star, where do we find the star? Probably this one. Yep, bingo. That should do the job. And now only jobs with the term watch A are shown to Michael. There are no jobs at all with this regular expression would match, so no worries, makes no sense, but it would give you an example how it works in general. Quickly back to the groups. Our user, Michael, sees a very smaller amount of information. Now, what I have not shown you yet, on the front end, there's not only the monitoring view, you can also interact with the jobs. So for instance, you can say, I want to change the priority of the job, I want to requeue, I want to resume when there was a failure, I want to pause a job or abort or even completely delete. These are the typical functionalities that you will find from every file-based operations. And that is exposed via the API to that user interface. And we can limit that back to the administration. So this user here, for instance, he sees the header information, he sees the priorities and the task lists, but he has no possibility to do this right mouse click that I did for you just now. So it's hidden. And we can do this very precisely. So back to the administrator user. For instance, here you will see that there's a property where we can change the priority. We can allow or disallow a certain user to pause. And for that reason, you can hand that application to all your journalists, for instance. They can see what's going on, how long they need to wait for their file, but they cannot do what you don't want to allow them. Last but not least, there's the question, how is the software configured? I spoke about systems are connected, and that is done here in the settings. That very moment, yeah, we have some general information. This is where the configuration is stored, what port it runs on, time zone offsets, the typical system settings. But more interesting is, what about the connection to the third-party systems? The Capella system, for instance, the Capella transcoder is connected via its API, and for that reason we have the protocol and the IP settings here and the port, and we can add more of that connectors. That means we can add multiple transcoding farms from the same type to be monitored with this application. Or we can have different systems. So for instance, here we have an older harmonic transcoder as well available. We have ingest from Mock Solutions, but also ingest from Woody Technologies. And obviously there are always different settings, and that is exposed in this settings page. Yeah. There's also another transcoder supported, Telestream Vantage, for instance, and for the quality control, Venera Pulsar is currently available in that system. Beside this, we also support Intera Baton. Yeah, I think I covered more or less everything of interest. Yeah, a database cleanup, a database reset, be careful with this. But we have customers that are running millions of jobs a month. And for that reason, sometimes you need to clean up your database to get rid of information. When I talk about database, all the information that we expose on the user interface are retrieved from the original systems into a caching database. And from that caching database, they are sent to the user interface on one hand, but on the other hand, we can make them available for statistic purposes and also for billing, so for later invoicing if you run a facility on behalf of your customers. If you are interested, please make your way to our webpage, x-dream.group.com, and there you will find the OneGUI and all the information there. Thank you so much for joining me here at IBC 2022.